This is the first part in a multi-part series we're going to use to explain how we use a tool called Box to generate a JSP or an HTML template that will convert to a JSP template that will work with the Ittrium software. So a Box is a tool that allows you to produce a HTML blueprint file, and what we've done is we've built tools that will take the output from Box and transform that into an Ittrium JSP. So to do this, we're going to create a box template using this tool, and then we're going to run it through a tool we call Livewire, which will actually take the HTML that is generated by Box and will generate a JSP that will work with our system. Now, Livewire is really just posting a form to an Ittrium service, and it's there where we actually do the work to transform the file. But Box makes it convenient so that you can set up well-known directories and services that you're going to use so you can run the transform over and over and over without having to manually upload files. And then the final output will go through and show you how we're building the JSP. So to get started with Box is you're going to create a regular Box template. And a couple things that we do that are special here, we're going to use some of the information that's in the Box template to control names and things that we use for the JSPs that we're going to create, as far as what the JSP is actually called, comments that might be in there, so on and so forth. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to actually set up the grid settings, and for all the JSP templates that we build, we create 24 column layouts by default, and it doesn't matter what the page width is, whether it's 950 or 960. Blueprint will take care of that for us, and we have nice simple ways where we can adjust the grid dimensions on the fly through system variables that you can configure in the Ittrium content management system. But the first thing you're going to do here is you're going to actually set up a page title, and our standard is just to assign a name, so a client name can be anything, and then we use one of our standard template names, standard being one of them. Typically, most Ittrium sites will have at least two templates, a home template and then a standard template, which is going to be used on interior pages. And then we turn off all this other information here. So these are things we do not need. All right. So right now I don't have much here. I have an empty template, no rows, no columns, nothing defined, and I'm just going to export my file. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to export it to just a common work area, and by default Box will create a file name output.html. So I'm going to open up that file real quick so you can see what it looks like. And if I open up this and I go find my work area, wherever I put it, right in front of me, and here's output.html. So this is the information that Box is going to produce. And what we want to do is we want to create a JSP, because this is useless in Ittrium world. But for starters, the first thing Box does, aside from putting in standard head and everything, is it generates a container. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up Livewire, and we're going to do a transform. Now what I've got set up is I've got Livewire pointing to my work area where my output.html file is. It's pointing to a live Ittrium instance that happens to be running on my laptop, and it's pointing to the actual transformation script that we're going to run to convert the HTML into a JSP. And then lastly, there's an output directory here where we're going to stash the file that we create. Other things we do by default, we generate wrapper code, which I'll explain in a bit. We'll come back to that. And if we wanted to, we can actually generate like real HTML files off of content that's in a running system. So we'll talk later about how we use domains and that sort of thing. But the one action we're going to focus on is generating a JSP. So we're not going to worry about generating other HTML code, just a simple JSP. All right, so to do it, I've already generated the code here, but once you've got it configured and you've saved your settings, you just click the Do It button. We run the transform, it'll produce this code, and then on the flip side, you will see your output. Okay, and the first thing you're going to notice is that we have changed the output code from this to this. So we're building a JSP. Nothing special here yet, but this is the first part of the lesson. So we'll get into more details in the next step. So keep following along, and we'll teach you how to create JSPs for Ittrium.